Oh, really?
Yeah, just like now.
I can stop that, I can mute you guys.
Oh, that's no fun. Don't do that.
I think.
Jesse's like, I have the power.
In fact, that was the intention, was everything else was supposed to be muted, but...
We were cracking up about something. I can't remember what it was, but it was kind of funny. Welcome to the Nintendo Dads, episode 484, recorded on June 27th, 2024. On this week's episode with special guest David, the gaming dad, we talk about plumbing getting fixed, dreams coming true, the road to number one, and your answers to this week's question of the week. Jesse, you know what to do.
What is up, everybody? It's that time again, episode 484 of Nintendo Dads. It is June 27th, 2024, and joining us on the show tonight, extra special requested guest, David Reed, the gaming dad. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, man, I'm glad to be here. Thank you guys for gracing me with this opportunity. Love being with you guys.
Man,
I look older people.
Yes, I look forward to every episode that you're on. I'm serious. Yes, I love it. Also joining us on the show tonight is our usual cast of characters. The gang's all here. Justin Masson, how are you, buddy?
Well, it's been a journey, Marty. It's been a great week, though. My kids have finished school, so that's a great thing.
You guys finish school super late up there.
Yeah, typically in Canada. Like you go the end of June, and then you have 2 months off, right? But I'm going to tell you, I want everyone to keep their eyes tuned, because Marty, you and I were having a conversation last week. We were talking about Mountain Dew, and I told you that I don't drink Mountain Dew. I've never tried Mountain Dew, and so Marty, I did something. I went out and I bought 7 cans of Mountain Dew, and I did a taste testing. And somewhere along the lines,
they're all different. The flavors,
yeah, all different. And somewhere along the lines, I'm pretty sure I caught diabetes. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Okay,
but today's show is brought to you by Mountain Dew Voltage, and I feel like I'm going to be sick by the end of it. But on Saturday, we're dropping a video where you literally watch me drink 7 different types of Mountain Dew.
So I'm guessing,
and at some point, you can see where my soul leaves my body
from this.
It does not taste well.
You had Voltage, and now you've gone back and bought another one.
No, this is the same one. I couldn't do it all. It was
trying to save his money. He's trying to make his money go.
This is now 2-day-old flat Mountain Dew Voltage.
For those of us out there that are diabetics, I do want to put a disclaimer in here. You cannot catch diabetes. All right, it's not like a transferable disease. You have to deliberately give yourself diabetes with lots of M&Ms.
He's saying he just did with Mountain Dew.
Yeah. You're well on the way.
Yeah.
You're well on the way. When you start to feel it in your fingertip,
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. That afternoon, I went to practice, rugby practice, and I was like, my body was shaking, and I was like, this is not a good place to be right now. I was like, there's something. Like, I'm like literally Googling what happened to me. I drank too much Mountain Dew. And it just said,
you only had 6. How can it be? It's not like you drank all 7.
It was like I drank an energy drink, and my body didn't know how to handle it.
But you didn't drink every single one, all of them.
I know.
You only had sips of them.
Tim, I don't know what to tell you.
Justin, there are literally people who drink 12 packs of Mountain Dew every day.
I'm going to tell you right now, I was just, I felt like I was going to die.
The expression on David's face when you said, I tried all of these Mountain Dews for the first time, he was like, what an amateur.
David, what are you throwing back for Mountain Dews?
But listen, he said, I don't drink it as much as I used to. It's like, now it's like but when I was young, we used to put those bad boys back. That and some cold Pizza Hut pizza.
Oh yeah. Now, sure, look it. There's nothing better than a good cool Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah, Pizza Hut pizza back in the mid '90s. Yes. You're playing Super Nintendo. You got the Pizza Hut pizza. Yeah, it's 90% crust and toppings and cheese.
Yeah, I heard you say you play rugby.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man,
played, coached, refed, ran clubs, all that good stuff. And my kids are playing now, so doing some coaching.
Listen, my oldest son went off to college to play football.
Yeah.
And didn't like it. He's like, you know, this guy didn't like the coach, anything like that. But then he met a rugby coach, and he played 4 years of rugby. Have his game ball right here.
Yes, nice. Oh, Gilbert, beauty.
Listen, man.
Yes.
My son was my son is 6'3", 280, and that joker can move. Oh, but
yeah.
he can move.
What position was he playing?
Oh, don't give me the lion.
Okay.
He ran the ball.
Ran the ball a lot, eh? I mean,
listen, they kicked it back to him and let him just mold over people. I loved
awesome.
it. I loved it.
I can just see he's like coming through. It's like Moses. People are just.
Oh, it was like this part of the ways. But that joker boy, he would run him over. They have this thing in Tennessee called Nash Bash.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's like it's like a football tournament. We used to go every year. I'm so glad. I'm so upset that he kind of graduated and never went back to it. I'm trying to coach him, like, man, you should go and try to do it professionally, because he was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Get back to look. That gives you an excuse. Come up here to the sweet state of Tennessee. We will take good care of you. We will take good care of you.
Barbecue is like no other.
That's why we were talking about trying to do a dad's con there at his house, so his dad could make a brisket.
We'll let my father-in-law make some brisket, and it will change your life. It will.
I'm on a favorite. Now, where you? How far are you from Georgia?
Depends on which part. So, from Atlanta, probably 6-7 hours.
Okay, so yes, you're probably about 5 hours. I'm about an hour north of Atlanta.
Okay.
All right. So sure. Look, if we're having a party at Marty's, Dave's showing up, is what we're saying here.
That's right. Live gaming dad.
He's bringing the Mountain Dew with cold pizza.
This is now he's in. He's already.
Yeah. And the rugby ball.
As soon as we turned it to rugby and barbecue, I was like, we're in. I'm coming. Like, we'll get the passport ready.
Hey, Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I am excited for talking about gaming for sure. So let's get this going.
And last but not least, you know him. He's over there. DJ Jazzy Jesse Waldack. How you doing, buddy?
Well, that was still quiet. Anyway. So when you said the episode was 484, I'm like, okay, so this makes this the penultimate palindromic number before 500.
And that's why we keep you around, because you're the only one who caught that.
100%. And I'll let you all figure out what the hell I just said.
Nope. I just want you to know, Jesse, that there's no other accepted titles for tonight's episode other than penultimate palindrome.
Yeah, I couldn't even repeat that word, so thank you for repeating that, Marty.
Well,
I forgot what the word was now.
Penelope
patty cake.
Patty cake, yes.
Princess Peach's powerful puffin tops.
Anyway, Tim's right. We do have a ton to talk about this week, even though we haven't had any kind of presentation. There's just a lot of fallout going on. There's a lot of stuff moving and shaking. And we've also got Koroks apparently, and tons of your questions as well as question of the week. So let's dive straight into the news, shall we?
Do it.
Of course, our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where you can join up with one of the greatest communities on the internet, chat, play games, be in contests, all kinds of stuff. $1 gets you in the door, $5 gets you the full slate of Discord sub channels, $10 pre and post show audio where we talk about anything and everything, which tonight was a trip to Buc-ee's, and who knows what we'll talk about after the show. And then $30 gets you on the show as Patreon producers. And producers, you be sure to check your Patreon inbox for a Calendly link to sign up for the next time you will be on the show, just like Solo was last week. And so head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where really the biggest perk is we get to be friends. No, really, actually, it's that you get an ad-free feed for the episodes, and you don't have to listen to any annoying ads. So head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. You pay for the year, you get a month free, because that's what Justin told us we should do. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's dive into these headlines. Nintendo, ironically, this week seems to have called a plumber because they plugged the leaks, folks. Directors at Nintendo actually spoke about the recent leaks at this month's annual shareholder meeting, according to news that was released today, and basically acknowledged, yeah, we've got some leak problems around here. That needs to get fixed, and it needs to get fixed right now. Also, meanwhile, this week, Pioro, that guy or girl, locked their account down and left social media after admitting their source to a Bloomberg reporter, in which they were later quoted as saying, "I didn't think they would tell anybody."
That was Jason Schreier, right?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
David, I just want to ask you, have you been following this leak saga? Have you been following the whole Midori, Pioro thing? Weigh in on that? What do you think? What are your
Listen,
thoughts?
not the whole thing, but man, he had to be a tad bit smarter, man. If a reporter calls you or text message you and say, "Hey, you know what," and asks you some questions, you gotta have some kind of sense to say, "Hey, you know what? He might use this information." Yeah, so I just don't. Yeah, you just when I first heard it, I just like, man, I like Fred Sanford flashed in my face and was like, "You big dummy." It's like you was not thinking before you responded to that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's ultimately. I think at the end of the day, I think for us who like surprises, it'll probably be good. Yeah, we like the leaks, but man, it was just coming so much. Some was true, some was not. So it just makes the video game space all.
Well, I'll be honest with you that I feel like I'm kind of torn because I do like I'll be honest, I like the way that Pioro did the leaks more than anything, it wasn't like a full out, hey, this is what you're getting. But it was like little hints,
Cryptic
right?
tweets.
Little cryptic tweets. And I'm okay with cryptic tweets. I don't want the whole thing. I want to be surprised in the direct like everybody else. But I think that we all talked about this last week on the show, and in our reaction to the direct, that it was a lot more enjoyable because we didn't know what was coming. And maybe that was a dual thing of not knowing what was coming. Plus, I didn't really have any expectations.
Yeah.
Because it's
I had no expectations going
this
into
thing's
it.
at the end of its life cycle. What in the world? What else could they do?
Y'all understand what his MO was, but how he got his information? Or
no,
look,
why don't you
look,
Japanese
so
employee.
my understanding is, Nintendo would set up their websites in advance. So all I have to do is hit a button and the web page is live. He apparently, either directly or through another person, had access to what will be live. And that's how he knew what was coming up. So with this release, Nintendo didn't update their website immediately. I think Nintendo caught on, and this was the test bed. So that's why Pioro was like, "Yeah, that's not going to be very much in this one." And then all of a sudden, everything was in this one.
Yeah,
they actually said in the report, the director, this one actually, where we got this headline from, was that they worked with a security firm to find out where the leaks were. So
that's how you know that. I mean, they called in the security firm and the ninjas.
Yes.
Yeah. And I do think the interesting thing about the conversation about Pioro and any of these, like, I do think there's an especially in these sessions, I think there's a difference between speculation and leaking, right? And I think that's sort of where, like, and so we as pundits speculate, right?
Yeah.
Like I believe Metroid Prime 4 will be there. It logically,
or at least
sense.
we want it to be there. Is
right?
What we're doing this as a in the terms of a prediction episode.
Yeah, we speculate, we hypothesize, we kind of read the tea leaves, so to say. But
we
at
guess
no point
a date that's off by one.
Yeah, at no point do we ever say like, "Hey, this will be there," because we don't know that information. And I think that's such a very fine line between the two, right? And I think I think of some of the really awesome surprises, and David, I'll throw it to you in a couple moments to ask about that. But as you think like the direct, like what were your favorite moments? And if those were ruined earlier, like, how would that have impacted your enjoyment of it?
Yeah, listen, I really enjoyed the direct, but I tell you, the one game that gave me go was Marvel versus Capcom
Really?
edition. I was like, oh, this is it. I'm like, I'm so ready. Day one, immediately when it popped up, I pre-ordered. So that was
Mhm.
my moment, and I really liked Zelda. I was like, oh
Yep.
man, it could kind of give me these creative vibes like Tears of the Kingdom, where I can kind of just expand and have my own way of playing. I said, I'm very, very pleased with Zelda. I was like, okay, this is another one. I tried to go pre-order the other day from GameStop, and it was a no-go. I guess they don't have it up yet. But those are my
That's
two
one thing
mega highlights.
I was going to mention was like, I think that I saw somebody mention like in the UK and other regions, the pre-order pages on the Nintendo eShop are already up for these games, but they are still not up here for us. Like you can't pre-order them at all.
Yeah, at all.
And I don't know if that's still true. I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time on the eShop this week or since I saw that, but I don't know that North American region still has the ability to pre-order those, which is, again, I wonder if that's
Kinda
a
weird.
direct, like, kind of like, hey, we're trying to figure out where all this is. Either way, here's what I think happens from here is, and I don't think we see Pyoro for a good long while, if at all. Midori has already admitted to being fake. So
Donkey Kong Country Returns can be pre-ordered now.
but that's it.
Yeah.
I'm checking Zelda.
Okay. Maybe so. I don't know. I know for a time, like people were saying that the pre-orders were not like digital pre-orders were not live. So who knows? But man, I'm with you, David. Like that Zelda
Yeah.
game.
Zelda can be pre-ordered now.
Okay, so they
Yeah,
fixed
okay.
that. The Zelda game, I like that was I don't know. Like the more I
Birgit
think
says it
about
went up yesterday in the chat.
okay, the more I think about it, the more I think about that Echoes of Wisdom is my highlight.
Yep.
Just because I love that form of Zelda, but also there's so much new in that game with the Tri-Rod being able to play as Zelda. It really looks like a new map, like it's
A new story. Like
yeah.
I said, we've never heard of Zelda going to save Link. That's different. I'm all
I've
in for
loved all the memes that have come out of it, like like art of like Zelda coming off the top rope with a chair, hitting Ganon
Nice.
with it.
But I think that's such a great example of we did not see that one coming at all, right? And I think some of the other ones in the direct, when I think like sort of the big Nintendo first party ones, we all really speculated Metroid Prime 4 was going to be there, right? So that wasn't a shock that it showed up. We were excited for it, but it wasn't a shock it was there. Sort of like, and then I would say we all sort of speculated that a Mario Party makes logical sense.
Mhm.
So that wasn't as big of it. You're like, when it showed up, I was like, yeah, Mario Party, that makes sense. But between that and Mario and Luigi, those were two that were on nobody's radar. And those are the moments you pop, right? Those are moments like I had no idea they were going to do this. And it reminds me of 7 years ago when we first saw the Metroid Prime 4 logo, right? Where you're like, no one knew that was coming out of nowhere, and you pop off for it. That was sort of what that reminded me of, was that moment, because it didn't leak. And if it had leaked, that would have been pretty rough for the experience, for sure.
And nobody knew about Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that one.
The
Sorry.
HD one. So, and also Brothership is also up for pre-order as well.
Yeah,
Brothership was out of left field, man.
I'm due for another pair of vouchers.
Yes.
Well, Brothership is a great segue into the next topic we're going to talk about tonight, and that is that some developers from Alpha Dream are involved with the development of Mario and Luigi Brothership, according to some posts that were found around on the internet this week. Twitter user Lizardy claimed that ILCA is the prime suspect for the development of this game. Even though Nintendo's official statement is some of the original developers who worked on the franchise are involved in the development of Mario and Luigi Brothership. For more information about the developers, please stay tuned to the game credits at release.
That's their MO lately.
If ILCA are the ones that are developing Brothership, then that would mean that this is only their second project that they have fully been involved with for Nintendo. The first being what, Jesse?
I don't know what.
Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So I would like the reason I'm interested in this is because Alpha Dream did such a great job with those old Mario and Luigi RPGs on the Game Boy Advance and the DS. Then they shut down. Actually, the studio went bankrupt. It was one of those things where it was like, why did Nintendo not save this company? But it sounds like they just let them fail so they could like buy up all the contracts. But if they are developing it, and if it is in you know, a lot of them are working on it, it's that I would say it's in really good hands. And to me, like just that look of it that we got there shows that it's kind of a return to form for that series. And that was the one, like, I love that they led with that. My son is a huge Mario and Luigi game fan, and he lost his mind when that came up. Because as soon as like that, it showed him like, you know, they started appearing on the screen. I just looked over at him and was like, "Dude, that's Mario and Luigi." And he's like, "Yeah, no." And I'm like, "I'm not talking about the characters. I'm talking about that's a Mario and Luigi game." And about that time, the logo popped up, and he flipped out. It was such a cool moment.
My youngest son is the same way. You know, he played it to death on the 3DS. So he was so excited. He's ready. He was like, yeah, Dad, I know this is on my Christmas list. I know it's early, but
get the list going.
You know.
Better get the list starting already.
Yep. Yeah. Are you any of you guys gonna excited about picking this one up or gonna dip into it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on my list for sure. Yeah,
it is day one for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
It'll be day one. It won't be. It's not like of the entire direct. It's not the game I am the most hyped for, but it is like in the top 3. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right?
Yeah, it's definitely and it's that beginning of November cozy time for a Mario game. Do you know what I mean? Like it fits there perfectly. And I love that I am a little bit like, are we getting a little fatigued though on the RPG component of it? Right. And I know that there are 3 different RPGs, but like, are we like 3 in 1 year is a pretty big toll.
Out of the 3, I am the most excited about this one.
Okay. David, what do you got?
Listen, I'm the same way. I think we just a tad bit fatigued. I was like, you know what, man? I just got Mario RPG. You know, it's been a nice little pick me up here and there, but it's so many games to play. Like, you know, when I was like, as a professional, you know, outside of this here, it's like, sure, I gotta schedule time to play games. You know, just so I can stay up. But you know, I do have a quick question though, not to jump subject. I just want to know, how did y'all feel about the NES remake? I just got even more excited seeing that the direct. I was just like, man, listen, it tickles my fancy to a whole different level. I just can't wait till next month.
I'm getting more excited about it as I hear more about it. Like, I noticed there were some previews that were released this week that like IGN and others have done, and like the most memorable sentence that I saw about it, or tidbit that I saw, was somehow Nintendo has been able to make playing 2 to 30 seconds of their games extremely fun and engaging. And that's what I'm here for. Like, because I loved NES Remix and NES Remix 2.
I like the online competitive component as well. That to me is like, you know what, to be able to, because, you know, my kids are all over the country, so I can be able, you know, because now that they're older, you know, I can be able to say we can all link up together and play these games. So I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to see if they, and I think this is the speculation everyone has, is there more to this, right? Like, is there a Super NES remix or mix? Is there a N60? Like, what, like, you have a series here you could do more with.
Yeah, we were hoping for an SNES remix, and that never happened.
Yeah, are you going to? Do you know what I mean? Like, how deep are you actually going to, like? And here's the thing, like, I actually sort of believe, and again, this is Justin sitting on a soapbox here, but like, I think that this NES remix would have been such a great value add for Nintendo Switch Online.
Absolutely.
Right? Like,
absolutely.
and like, listen, Nintendo's
you're talking about the Wii U games. Like the old ones, the old NES Remix and NES Remix 2.
No, I'm talking about this drop that they're doing here in July. Yeah. What I'm saying is, instead of releasing a physical, digital, blah, blah, you could for sure. But P.S., if you're a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber, it's delivered to you right now, like for free, just like you do the DLC for Animal Crossing. Like, that would have been a really nice, like, oh, that's cool. Right. And I think that would have been nice, but you can still offer it physically. You can still offer it on the eShop if you don't want it. But that would have been a really nice little, like, value add. And then inevitably they do a Super Nintendo remix line that maybe they release in 6 months from now. Like I think because here's the sort of the way that I think of it. If you're an NES Online subscriber, you're using that catalog of games already, right? And you've probably already picked up those controllers that are associated with that online catalog. Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of like just keeps you in that ecosystem a little bit more.
That's right.
That would have been a really nice interconnection, would be my thought. But if Justin ran Nintendo, right? But I don't.
You know what's
so.
funny, Justin, is this is the exact same conversation that we had on the show when NES Remix released back on the Wii U. It's like inevitably there's going to be an SNES remix because this is awesome. And then it died. It just on the vine. It was dead.
Yeah.
So do you believe they might drop some DLC for this? I think it's perfect. It's a perfect setup for
the
other NES games added to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like Remix Volume 2.
$15. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I mean, that's a great way to get more money out of me. I'll do it. I'll buy it.
And the other interesting thing that I would sort of commend here is this is also Nintendo really looking at their software at different price points also, right? This is 30 in the US. That's the same slot that we saw everybody 1-2 Switch last year coming at as well, was that $30 kind of price mark, right? And so it's nice that they are experimenting at different places where they're doing that, right? Obviously, the physical version is exponentially more because of all the pack-ins, but
I think it's 60.
It is nice to kind of see
US.
them exploring different price points for delivery also. So
yeah,
is anybody picking the physical version up, or
I got the physical one pre-ordered.
Yeah,
I don't need more stuff on my shelves.
I was
like, listen, I like it, but I just can't. I'm not doing more.
Justin makes a good point because, like, I was, I'll get it. Like, I bought the limited run Mega Man Wily Wars package, that came out a few years ago with the blue cartridge and everything. And I passed by it in my office this week and was like, it's been about 2 years since I opened that thing up. And I never really looked at it when it came in. Like, I was like, oh, cool. Put it back in the box, put it on the shelf. That's what's going to happen with this. It's the Nintendo fan in me. I gotta have it. It's limited.
Right.
In Canada, it's $80. Right?
But the funny thing about
if it came in Canada, if it came with the Joy-Con controllers, I would have been all in. Like I think the Japanese bundle that has that's a steal of a deal. And I still don't have those Joy-Con NES controllers, and I'm like really scratching the beard thinking about it of like maybe I should do that. And I think the yen's lower right now than if I was going to do it, I'd pull it.
I think you can order it in the Japanese Amazon and have it delivered to
Justin's like, hang on just a second. Well,
continue with your next question.
While he's preoccupied, let's switch over to our next topic because Lord knows he'll want to talk about this for at least an hour. This is business stuff. Switch lifetime sales are now listed at just 1.41 million below PlayStation 2. Per Matt Piscatella. As of May 4th, 2024, Switch life to date U.S. unit sales trailed PS2 by 1.14 million units.
I wonder what math he's thinking of because when we talked about end of fiscal year numbers back in May, we still had like 13 million away.
Yeah.
Hang on. If you go and you look at the actual tweet, there's a part.
He's talking about U.S. only sales, not worldwide.
He says according to Circana's retail tracking service.
Okay.
U.S. unit sales.
That makes sense then.
So
because my numbers are worldwide.
Switch is now currently third all time in the U.S., trailing only the PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo DS.
It's going to end up being
the DS outsold the PS2 in the US.
Well, the way it's worded, trailing only Nintendo DS and PS2. So maybe that's 2 and 1. So
right.
I don't know. Surely the Zelda edition Nintendo Switch Lite is just going to do this by itself.
Yeah.
Yep. Told you, right? Like I said it earlier when everyone's like, well, how are they going to make the numbers? I was like, two things. You either do a price cut or you do a fancy new skin wrap. Oh, a huge franchise that sells really well in late September with an amazing game that feels like it's built on a very portable device. Yes. Like, yeah, that's how they're going to do it, folks.
Yeah.
Surprise.
We
If
get
I-
it. You want us to tell you
See,
you're
I
right.
probably
and we're
would
not
have-
going to do
I'd-
it.
I would buy one of those, the Switch Lights, if I thought I could play on the small screen, but I can't. I have a hard time playing on the 7-inch screen.
You know, if you remember, guys, the day that we were in New York City was the day that the Nintendo Switch Scarlet and Violet edition came out
That's right. Yep.
with the launch of the game. And there were literally people that we talked to as we held our little meet and greet outside there that were like, yeah, like there was a guy over there and he's like, hey, yeah, you can see my Nintendo Switch. And we're like looking at it, looking at the box and everything. And I was like, so you're going to go home and play it? He's like, no, I'm going to keep it in the box. I just bought it to have. And that there are literally 1.41 million people that are probably going to do this with this Nintendo
Easy.
Switch Lite.
But I mean,
I may
like,
be one of them.
but this isn't, but again, like this isn't a shock. This is what Nintendo's been talking about before, which is originally it was one device per household. Then it became one device per family member. Then it became one family member for multiple devices. That's what they want, right? Because there's some crazy, like where's John Blanco? Or sorry, not yeah. No, Zach. No, yeah, John Blanco, right?
Yeah, it's John.
How many? Yeah, Zablanc. How many consoles does he have?
All of them.
Right, all of them. Because that's what
think.
Nintendo does. That's what Nintendo does well. Do you know what I mean? Like, they do a good amount of variation of them, and they always have, like their handheld line specifically, always done that really well, right? And they make it at a low enough price point that's not hard to justify.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still a little bit, but it's not just
Nintendo who does this. Hasbro did this with Transformers. They've done it in every Transformers line. It's like, oh, do you like Starscream? You'll love him in black and purple when we call him Skywarp. and his slightly less liked but also kind of cool other one, Thundercracker. It's just Starscream in blue and black. Yeah. I mean, they've done it in every toy line. It's like, we're going to sell you the exact same toy, just with a new name and a different color.
G.I. Joe did the same thing.
The real character.
You like those characters that came out that you missed? Oh, we're gonna repaint them and call them Tiger Force, and then
That's right.
Oh yeah. You're exactly right. Well, that's happening this year. Can we just go ahead and confidently say that record in the U.S. at least is getting beat this year?
I mean, yes, it'll get done by the end of the fiscal for sure. I don't know if it will be done prior to then. That will be my one component.
Okay.
Because they did say by the end of their fiscal is 13.
That's right.
Right. So
Here's a couple other little news tidbits. Not anything huge, but things we want to make you aware of. F-Zero 99 will join Tetris 99 this weekend for the 41st Maximus Cup, June 28th, Friday at midnight Pacific to July 1st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. You'll be able to earn a F-Zero 99 theme in the game by earning 100 points. If you like that type of thing. This you guys do realize Tetris 99 has been available for 5 years now, and they're still updating it. That probably tells you how popular it is.
And I probably haven't played it in 2.
So
Right.
my question to you guys is there any of the 5 of us who have all of the themes? No.
No.
I just have my favorites. I did miss one, and that was
I
the
think-
Game Boy one.
Oh, the Game Boy one is.
I think
Yeah.
I got maybe into the 30s before I just started not caring.
I looked the other day just on a whim, like the last one that I was. What was the last Maximus Cup? I don't even remember at this point, but it was Endless Ocean. That was it. Endless Ocean was the beginning of May. I got that one just to get it because it was, I'm not going to play Endless Ocean ever in my life. But I was like, I've got to get that theme, and I went back and looked. I missed 3 out of them, and so
So you're the closest out of all of us.
I do like Tetris. I like Tetris. So,
I've been boycotting Tetris.
okay. Well, I got to hear this story.
They need to go ahead and stop playing, and either one, put it on a cartridge and sell it to us, or bring it back. I'm talking about Pac-Man 99. Put it on a cartridge, sell it to us, or bring it back. That's why I'm boycotting.
Can we get Mario 35 while we're at it?
Right. Listen, they can make it a double pack, and I would kindly.
I thought it was physical at one point.
No,
Pac-Man 99.
No, Tetris.
No,
because I thought it came with, like,
Indeed, it did.
A personal Nintendo Network subscription.
It did. All right, so I'm looking at it right now. Includes Nintendo online subscription for a year.
Yeah,
but you didn't get anything like extra with it. It was just basically a box that said Tetris 99 and the online subscription, and then you had to go in there and download download it once you.
So you're basically literally just paying for the subscription through with a different box.
Yeah, you can get the box right now on Amazon for $36.19. So if you need that box in your life, there it is.
Nintendo is like, you suckers, come on and get it.
Was it actually on a cart, or was it just no? You can download this for free.
It's if you were hoping for, this is from a Reddit post from 5 years ago. If you were hoping for a physical Tetris 99 release to be a nice physical collectible with some eShop codes, it isn't. It does include a code for 12 months of Nintendo Switch Online, but access the big block DLC, basically a single player offline mode, only works when the cartridge is inserted. Yes, there is a cartridge.
Okay.
Oh.
That's so weird. I'm sorry.
That is very.
It's just bizarre. Yeah. Here's something though that I do want us to talk about. This kind of came out today too. This news story about Shigeru Miyamoto touting Nintendo's wealth of brilliance and talent when it comes to development, and alluding to what is the report calls a generational handoff that is going on at Nintendo now that Miyamoto is around 72 years old. Obviously, we've seen some of that, I think, with Aonuma. We've seen some of that with the guy who was, and I always miss this guy's name, that he was the Koizumi. He was the guy who did the magic tricks and the Switch thing. I think he was also the director of Mario Odyssey, and was responsible for some of that. We do kind of see like a changing of the guard, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you think? How does it make you feel knowing that, like, hey, this is it
But they've been doing this for a long time. This is like, even though he's probably brought some attention to it now, but this was happening for a long time. So, but if you think about it, they haven't skipped a beat. Yeah, the games still come out. They're still fabulous, wonderfully made games. You know what? I wish Nintendo would go back to those times where they made other companies have that badge, like, Nintendo, remember that gold sticker,
quality seal of approval.
They need that. They need that bad in the eShop, like, so you can start skipping by all this shovelware.
If they want to just hire me, I will filter that eShop. I will just, right. Like
first thing Marty's doing is putting folders on there. Folks.
Yeah, here's his actual quote. He said that because it was, the question was asked at this shareholder meeting about how the generational handover is going, and also about Miyamoto's health. And he said, I consider the generational handover to be progressing smoothly. We have developers that are young and brilliant. He then thanked shareholders for asking about his health and said that he is doing very well. And then I love that he adds this tidbit, and that he still continues to be fully involved in development of Pikmin Bloom.
That's his like
Okay.
pet project, right? As long as that's
Right.
going,
But
he's like, I don't care.
Here's a cool tidbit too. He also said that as all the employees are growing older, he wants to ensure that the Kyoto-based company's generational handover expands to encompass even younger employees.
I think this is, I mean,
Smart.
this is such a great example. Like in again, we are pundits of this industry, right? We are not making video games, we are not developing, we get to sit back in the quarterback chair, right?
Mhm.
And you can see the industry and the turmoil that is occurring right now, right? We've seen layoffs and massive cuts, not only in 2024, 2023, and unfortunately, it will continue, right? We see this just wiping away of talent throughout the industry, and we will not know those repercussions for years. What I love hearing from Nintendo in this situation is we believe in our company. We believe in the DNA and the culture that we have created and established here, that we are talking about generational passing of the knowledge and the torch, right? And that the things that we do well, the things that are quintessentially Nintendo, are not necessarily institutionalized with one individual, but rather at the culture and the DNA of our organization. And that we have mentors in these areas that are shepherding people who allow for them to shepherd the next generation to ensure that they understand what it means to be a Nintendo game, a Mario game, right? And so I think that's wonderful, right? Because again, Miyamoto being at the kind of tip of that spear for so long in the 80s and 90s, right? And to be able to shepherd and bring in new and mentor generationally people to do this. And you see this, right? You see some of the new creativity and the new minds coming through. Again, let's use a great example. The original Splatoon, right? Like, wow, that is not a game that we would have traditionally thought from Nintendo. This isn't a mainline character. This isn't a Mario. This isn't a Zelda. This is, who is this? What is this? Right. And then all of a sudden, PS, in the 10 years we've been doing this show, they've done 3 of those games. And not because they don't know what they're doing, because they're actually quite a big hit. And they're doing amazing things with them. And they are the quintessential Nintendo DNA. And I think, and you see that, right? You see that in what's occurring now, this transformation of Zelda, the transformation of Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. We see that in the creativity that's going through in Mario Odyssey, right? Like bless his heart. I love the amazing things that he has done. Thank you, Shigeru Miyamoto. I want to honor you and praise you for that. Thank you. You have created a path and delight that you have given me, right? And all of us.
Right.
But now you are able to get, you have been able to pass that on to others who can now move that torch forward and are allowed to expand and be creative and be different and push Nintendo in a way that we want them to be pushed, not to be stale and stagnant, right? But rather to be creative and fresh and energizing. And that's what,
revolutionary.
Revolution. And that's what new ideas, new thoughts, new people do. And so, man, bless his heart. I love him. He does an amazing thing. And I would be so sad when he leaves the company, but I am not for a second worried about Nintendo. It is interesting. What the other part of it is, I'd say from a business perspective, Shigeru Miyamoto, unlike I think any other developer in history other than maybe Kojima, right, have such a DNA impact of an organization that what the conversation actually here is, the reading between the lines is, and the health question, right, is if you left Nintendo or was no longer with us, fill in the blank however you want that to look like, is Nintendo okay? And that's a stockholder question. That's a shareholder question. Because are we investing? Because the day he retires, you can put in the log, Nintendo's stock will drop.
Absolutely.
Because he is such a bedrock of that. He is such a author of everything that so it will drop. And so the shareholder question is, when you leave, are we going to be okay? And his response is yes, you are going to be okay, because Pikmin Bloom exists. You're going to be okay.
And I think the same question could have been asked with about Iwata before his passing.
Yeah.
And again, 9 years later, Nintendo's still fine.
100%. Right. Yeah. And I do. And I do agree. But I think that when you talk about Miyamoto, the byline is the father of Mario. Right.
Right.
And
then
so this whole
conversation is knowing how old I was when Donkey Kong came to North America.
That's right, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I'm old. And I don't think I like it.
Yeah. I think it's, I don't know. It's interesting. It will also be interesting to see, because I think, what I hear now is that he still gives kind of advice, suggestions, sort of a bit of a guide, right? A little bit of a hand on the wheel, right? Makes recommendations. What happens when that hand is no longer there?
Who replaces him?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Does anybody replace him?
Sure.
Right. Or has he sort of just become the statesman because of the fact that he's been there forever?
It,
do you know what I mean?
It kind of sounds like that he is deliberately training maybe multiple people to replace him. Like it's almost like, hey, one person can't do all of this. And maybe that's a realization as we have come to understand work and life balance, as the years have gone by. There doesn't need to just be one guy who's at the top, or the creative fellow or whatever it is they call him. It's how can we branch out and let more people have this? How can we let more people have a say or a voice or authority here? I don't know. I'm just spitballing because none of us really knows for sure.
No, but it is interesting. Like Enuma has been given sort of the Zelda wing. Do you know what I mean? Like if there's a Zelda game coming out, Enuma's hand is on it somewhere. Right. And so if there's a Mario game coming out, whose hand is sort of on that one? Is that Miyamoto's? And if it's not Miyamoto's hand, then whose hand sort of is it? Because arguably those are your two biggest franchises. Those are your tent poles, right? And so those things have to be right for anything else to be successful. So yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting to see her.
Yep. Yeah. The other one I'd love to learn about is Sakurai.
Yeah, that's
love to know who's helping, kind of being the apprentice there.
Yeah, David, sorry, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was going to ask. I wonder, does Miyamoto have a book? If not, that would be one I would definitely want to own in my possession.
Yeah,
for sure. I wonder if there's a process.
That's got to be getting written or getting done. I would really like that.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Yeah. Maybe even like
mindset.
A visual compendium, like of photos of him throughout the years doing development and stuff like that to watch his career progress.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Like some of his, because the dude is drawn and sketched and, just that kind of stuff. That's coming. That's coming.
That'll be on my Christmas list right next to those Transformers that transform right themselves.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my wife told me that she said the other day, I showed her those and I was like, there's no way that I would ever get one of these, right? And she's like, maybe in 3 semesters when you graduate seminary. I was like, what? And she's like, just don't get your hopes up. Just be surprised if it happens. And I was like, oh man, now I'm going to be. Anyway,
Salute your wife from a distance.
And see, here's the deal. If I had to pick one, I don't know which one I would pick.
I know.
Because Megatron looks awesome. But then Prime is my boy.
Grimlock is my boy. I love Grimlock.
But Grimlock is like double the price of all the others, right? There is a Lego Bumblebee coming out in a few months. It's $90. It transforms from the bee to the car to the robot. And the Lego Prime was good. So they have a Lego Optimus Prime. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna have to get Bumblebee too. This has nothing to do with Bumblebee, but I wanted to throw this out here. Assassin's Creed remakes are in the works. They're going to remake all the Assassin's Creeds, even the one that they just released and the one that they're about to release. They'll remake that one too, eventually, probably. The goal is this is hard for me to say because because this is terrible. The goal is to have Assassin's Creed games come out more regularly, but not for it to
More
be
regularly?
but not for it to be the same experience every year.
Yeah, in the
Someone added
article
a
it
note
says
here.
they are going to do a remake 1 year and then a new game another year.
So it's Game Freak.
It's the Game Freak cadence.
Listen, I don't
Can
know
I
the
can
game.
I ask a question? Look, because I played I can't speak to this educatedly. I'm just going to ask an ignorant question because I played half of the first Assassin's Creed and got so bored that I wanted to actually go outside, which is that's a horrible thing.
Already
It
touches grass.
was literally the same thing over and over and over. Are there really that many people who love Assassin's Creed that much that
Yes.
they have to have one every year?
No, but yes, there are a lot of fans. But no, they're
Listen.
probably just as sick of seeing. They want games that are quality, not quantity. And so I don't understand why companies feel like they have to do
Has
the quantity thing.
Ubisoft not seen the past year of what the effects of what quality or quantity over quality has done to the AAA game industry?
Right.
So the problem with Ubisoft in regards to their annualization, and like there is a formula. If I go to McDonald's, I know exactly what I'm going to have, right? And it's going to be the exact same thing any McDonald's I go to. It should be, right?
Not a McRib.
Ubisoft is the McDonald's of game development, right? They know exactly what works for them, and they will repeat that formula. Open world,
Until it doesn't.
Lots of shiny things on a map, right? Quest check logs. So you look at like the Far Cry series, you think at what their recent oh my gosh, Avatar game was the same, Assassin's Creed, right? They are and not the exact same, but Just Dance, right? They know what makes them money, and they just stick to that formula. And
well, they were trying to do the every year thing like Call of Duty, and that didn't work out. So now they're trying they know it didn't work out. So they're like, oh, but what if we do a remake instead to throw in between the other one? So we give time for a new game. But then you got the remake, the whole.
Yeah, but you're still burning resources on a game that people may not necessarily want.
Maybe the remakes are done by another company, so that might be why they're getting away from it. Maybe getting away with it, I should say. They're able to source it out to another company.
Still, it's resources some way, whether it's their own manpower or money.
It's still money, yeah.
Ubisoft now is. Go ahead, David.
Did Rayman did it not sell?
Rayman does. I don't know if it sells as well as they would have wanted it to.
Oh, and it's like
I don't know if they've tried though, because I haven't seen a new Rayman game since the Switch launched.
Right, it would do. I think it would,
and that was a port. Yeah,
here's the reality of it is that they're very much if there be oil in them hills, I'm going to go take the oil as quickly as I can, and I'll even use. And again, let me be clear. I do like Ubisoft games. Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, I've told you already. That is definitely my top 3 games of the year so far. And I'll be hard missed to say it comes off. That was an amazing game that not enough people picked up. I'll tell you that right now. One of the best Metroidvanias ever. But let's rewind the clock. They do Rabbids and Mario and Rabbids, right? That was an out of left field. Nobody saw it coming. It was really good. People enjoyed it. They then come back to Nintendo and was like, we want to do another. And did you hear what Nintendo had said to them? We don't think you should. We don't think you should.
Didn't they recommend to wait until the next generation?
Correct. Wait to the next generation. And Ubisoft said, there be money in them hills. Right? And off they go. And then they're upset that it doesn't sell as well. And Nintendo's like, not only did
they get greedy with the money, but they also changed a lot about what made the game great in the first place and made it more about their characters than about Mario. Which, I like the Sparks of Hope was not, it was fun, but it didn't charm me like the first one. The problem with Ubisoft is that everybody knows their games are going on heavy discount 3 months after they release.
Yep.
And
100%.
because they've repeated that over and over and over and over again, all new releases are immediately crippled because people just say, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
It's the Game
Again,
Pass effect.
they're
I'll just wait.
they're the fast food of video games. You know
That's
what you're
right.
going to get,
That's
and it's
cool.
going to eventually be pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Right? Is sort
Well
and
said.
you're
I
probably
mean,
not going to feel well after you're done with it.
there are plenty of Ubisoft games that are great games, but I don't
100%.
know it. Like at this point, I would say this about Nintendo and the Pokemon Company as well. I don't know that we need a Pokemon every year.
Yeah.
I don't know that we need an Assassin's Creed every year. You know, if we got a Mario Kart every year, guess what? Eventually Mario Kart would probably suck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's-
Quake 311 calls out actually the Division. That's a great example. What I think Ubisoft struggles with is the ability to have creativity. And this is sort of the challenge that I think any entertainment industry is in regards to IP, known IP, and risk of new franchises. Entering a new franchise, a new type of game, there is a risk associated with it. So if you have hit gold or hit oil in them hills, you're going to do the same thing over and over again, right? This is why we're, how many John Wick's movies have we have? How many Fast and the Furious? Because we know that there's the money in the hills. And that is a safer bet for time, resources, and energy than it is in regards to starting something new that may fail. Now, I think as a creative person, that will probably be demoralizing and frustrating, right? And challenging, but like, that's how they keep their stock going. That's how they keep the money. That's the business of it, right? They're not there to bring creative joy and amazement. They're there to build a video game that makes money that helps the stockholders. That's the core essence of it. And they recognize that Assassin's Creed, much like Call of Duty, much like Pokemon, is a franchise that you can mine yearly and you will get the return on revenue that you need until we as consumers say enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's until we as consumers say, I'm not buying that. I'm not doing this, that it begins to say, okay, we've done something wrong here. We've overcorrected. We've over-indexed ourselves. We need to adjust and change our behavior. And until that happens, nothing changes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good commentary.
Yep.
Let's round out our news with some releases and updates out now. Lots came out this week that is actually really good. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD came out today. As we record this. Tsushima came out today as we record this. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble is out this week, just a couple of days ago, as well as Beyond Good and Evil, the 20th anniversary remaster is available. And Frog, which is a roguelike about frogs. It's really good as well. Those are all out right now, and we have videos about every single one of those games on our YouTube channel. You can go check it out. The most recent one being 45 minutes of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD that I was able to put up there today.
Well, I don't think I published that. Hold up, my bad.
Yeah, go publish it right now, and then it'll be available. Also out soon, games that people are looking forward to. TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, which is the iOS mobile app that's like
Pretty good game.
it's like almost like a Warcraft-ish type raider Diablo type thing.
It looks a little bit like Hades. Am I wrong on this?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's July 17th. That'll be out. Axis announced today a remake of Star Wars Bounty Hunter coming to Switch on August 1st. There's a pre-order discount for that, $17.99. So if you like classic Star Wars games, there you go. Trinity Fusion will be out August 1st on Switch, and up for pre-order as of this week, Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed September 24th, and Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut on September 26th. And with that, that is our news. So let's pause right here for an ad break from our good friends over at Manscaped.
Support Nintendo Dads is brought to you by Manscaped. Hey, call them what you want them. Knee knockers, golden nuggets, thigh slappers. But our friends over at Manscaped refer to them as the boys, and not Amazon's the boys, just your boys. Not every man has children, but every man is responsible for their two boys below the waist. And while your little guys have more hair than they need, trust Manscaped for all your grooming dreams. Boys, need love too. So join over the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and using the promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. You heard it here first. The boys are back in town. Again, use that code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Big thanks to Manscaped for keeping our boys nice and clean during the summer holidays. Marty, back to you. That's another example of an ad read that I didn't read before I got the copy. I just opened the copy because I was like, oh no, that one's expired because it's past the Father's Day. That one's expired. And I was like, oh, okay.
The fact that you made it through knee knockers.
Like, listen, again, if you want professional audio voiceover takes, ladies and gentlemen, email us at nintendodads@gmail.com and I will read stuff for you and send it over.
Wow. He'll read. I mean, he won't even look at it before he does.
That is the work of a voiceover artist right there.
So, this is time we're going to turn the guest spotlight over to David Reed, the gaming dad. We are so glad that you're back on the show and that you're a friend of the show, man. You always bring so much to it when you come on. What have you been up to lately?
Oh man, personally, down here in the South, school is out, but summer school was going on. So I just wrapped up summer school today and basketball summer practice. I coach middle school basketball. But personally, besides that, been trying to play some games here and there. I'm playing quite a few things. I got a Steam Deck, and but Nintendo wise, man, I haven't been really digging into it. I've been playing the Super Mario, but I've been digging into Ghost of Tsushima on my Steam Deck. So
an amazing game.
So amazing game, man. Amazing game. So glad that I decided to wait to pick it up. That's besides that. That's about it. The channel's been doing really well. Good subscriber, got a good membership going on over there. Got a great community, man. I would love to see some more of you guys show up. Tim is a regular. He's always over there. I would love to see you guys chime in every now and then. It'd be nice to see you guys.
Absolutely.
So for people who maybe are encountering you on our show for the first time, give us a little bit about what you do over on your channel and where people can tune in.
Yeah, we are strictly news show. Now we cover everything, but our main center is Nintendo. We live every Monday night at 8:30. We give out a free Nintendo eShop card every night. So as you come in, just come in and say, hey, the gaming dad. And then, you get yourself an opportunity to get ourselves on a wheel. And we give out a free Nintendo eShop card in the evening. And it's wonderful.
I've been a winner of that once. I got one of them.
Tim's been a winner. Yeah. So, you get on the wheel and we do a process of elimination until we get a winner. And we have you join our Discord, and I'm able to give you that eShop card right to you. So it's a good experience, non-toxic environment, nice. Great people on the show. We have a great time. So definitely, if you want to hear about some news for the week, man, come on and join us.
I always love how you interact with the people, your community too, because it's not just you reading off the stuff. You're live and you're interacting with the conversations and however long it takes to get through that topic or even come back to a topic, you're interacting with people as you read, and I love it.
It's the therapy for me. I tell anybody like this, like when I jumped on you guys' show and you was like, hey Dave, come on back. I was like, oh man, this is part of my therapy for the week. I got 2 doses this week because being older, how many older guys that's your age, and I'm 49 years old. So how many guys my age that talk about, video games? It's not a lot of us. So when I meet some good group of people, I gravitate to them. So I'm always watching you guys' show. Believe it or not, sometimes I don't chime in because I'm driving. I catch you guys. I work a different job, so sometimes at night I'm driving. I'll cut you guys on, put you in a little corner of my window, and we ride out. And so it's a wonderful experience. So I love you on the show. Love you guys.
That's awesome. I mean, that's funny, Dave, because that's exactly why we started Nintendo Dads, because we're adults and we have no one to talk to about video games. So let's
and
go
our wives don't want to hear us talk to them about all this stuff anymore all the time either.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
I can't even talk to my kids anymore. My kids like, all right, Dad, They don't care nothing
Yeah.
about the news. They just want to play their games. And sit.
I started
love
quote.
the
Me
news.
and my wife started quoting Gen Z slang the other night just to get on our kids' nerves. And I called my son a Risley bear, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, shut up, shut up."
Look.
He's 17, so I was like, "You can use that on your friends if you want to."
What is
Oh,
a
man.
what is a Risley bear?
It's like it's Riz, man.
In the form of a bear?
Well, I mean, he's a big old
Like-
dude, so I called him a Risley bear, and he just dropped the G. Got a Risley bear.
I have
Oh,
so
man,
many
listen,
questions.
You're gonna have a
Yeah, just we're gonna move on. Yeah, speaking of, I know. Now, well, actually,
Well,
here's the thing.
I used to do the same thing with our kids, but I would say they're more millennial than Gen Z, but same rules apply and same cringe occurs.
Actually, in 2 years, we held my son back a year. So he and his sister, they just finished the 10th grade. So we homeschool. So yeah, they do. We got 2 more years, which is great. I'm fine with that. I actually had a question for you. We've already talked about what you enjoyed about the direct, but we always kind of talk about when, in our wrap up about it, we give it a grade. All right. And as a teacher, I think it's appropriate that you would give this direct a grade. So if you're grading Nintendo on this direct, what grade would you give it?
When I first saw the direct, I was teaching summer school, and so they were doing their work. So I'm kind of like watching it and trying to take notes and things of that nature. And so my initial grade was a B. I gave it 80%. I didn't want to go no lower. It was like, how is this 80%? But then I had to watch it again, and I said, you know what, man? Listen, this is. Even though it's not the Mario games that I wanted, but they still came with Mario, Zelda, Metroid Prime. I mean, then you put it in context. This is the 8th year of the system,
Right?
Yes.
And they're still continuing supporting it on a high level, and I'm almost at an A. It's like the A minus, B plus. It's right in that area because when you put things in perspective, man. Listen, they did a great job.
Love it.
But Nintendo, their cadence on how they deliver the games is just unmatched.
Yeah.
So
Dave,
I think they did a good job.
I wanted to ask you. You said earlier that like the Capcom collection, right? The fighter, that one had you talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what's your history with that? Because obviously that resonated with you, right?
It goes back to the arcade. It goes back to playing it on my Vita. I think I probably played it the most on my Vita, man. Like Sony. Okay, I know this is a Nintendo show. But man, right. Sony, if you can come out with something that has the graphics, but give me that PSP Go feel, you'd be right back into the mix, buddy. Right back into the mix. That's why the whole premise of a Xbox handheld is exciting.
Right.
If they
Tony says, Nintendo, can I borrow your homework?
Yeah, well, they do it anyway. They steal the homework. It's historic. We come out with a controller, and everybody else had to have a controller. We come out with a handheld that's portable. Now everybody, their mama got a handheld that's portable. So
you said arcade in regards to those Marvel games, right? The Marvel Capcom, right? So that was for me because there was an arcade on 8 Mile. And yes, people who don't live in Detroit,
that's right.
There is an actual 8 Mile. There was a Wizard arcade on 8 Mile that I go to and play that game. And then that's why I was excited about it too.
I was a huge Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcades.
Listen, there were 2 arcades that I went to in Detroit. One, I used to work at Tel 12 Mall.
Yes,
it was on 12 Mile
before they tore it down. Okay,
before they tore it down, and in their food eatery they had an arcade, and I used to work at Taco Bell, and you could hear Killer Instinct. Killer combo.
Yes, because when they sent those cabinets out, they had like special speakers installed. Do you remember that? Like they had the speakers on top of it. So like when it hit, when that voice was killer combo,
it made you want the game more.
Yes.
Oh, it made you want the game more.
I feel like that's what happens when I order from Taco Bell.
Killer combo.
Killer combo. You know what I mean? Like that's.
But
I'll see you later, porcelain.
That's what your bowels say.
That 30 minutes later, it's combo breaker.
gotta make sure next time you get that Taco Bell, you get some Mountain Dew with it.
Baja
Justin.
Blast.
There you go.
Justin hates Baja Blast, by the way, which is we almost
one.
kicked him off the show when he said that.
Yep.
One other question for you, David. Are you ready for a Chiefs versus Lions Super Bowl in the 2024 football season?
Oh man, I'm ready for a
Three-peat.
Lions Super Bowl. Right? No, it won't be a three-peat. This will be the year they make it. The Chiefs make it. The Chiefs is going down because at that first half of the game we was smoking them, and then all of a sudden somebody must have called the bet in and was like, "Hey, y'all need to stop beating them like this on national TV," and they just gave them the game.
Listen, Taylor's not going to be happy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Your answer about the direct though leads into our question of the week, and here's the question: a week removed from what many say is an all-time Nintendo Direct, how are we feeling, folks? Now that you've had some time to process, what do you think? Here's some answers from our community. Victorious GX says, I think we're eating good this year. This seriously has been one of the best Nintendo presentations we've ever had, aside from new console announcements. Mecca says, I'm still excited about the news mentioned, but the weight is starting to kick in a little. I wish there were some more shadow drops, but I think we had enough so far. The news that broke afterward from Nintendo refusing to say who is developing their games these days and the price of the Donkey Kong Country Returns remastered has been interesting to listen to. I feel like I could talk for hours if I go into that now. Zablanc says a good and unexpected Nintendo Direct, but it's not an all-timer or anything. A happy surprise, though, and I'm hella excited for Zelda and Darkest Dungeon 2. Hoots says, I don't think my opinion's changed. There's some truly great surprises coming this year, but I'm legitimately excited about. But this might be the first time that I've been disappointed by things that aren't coming before the end of this year. No Silk Song, that's totally on me. An old Donkey Kong instead of a new one. No dormant franchises making a comeback. A lot of 2025 release dates are an indicator to me that the next gen is farther away than everyone seems to think it is.
Whoever wrote that comment, salute them. That's my sole sentiment. Yeah.
All right. Darth Platypus rounds us out here. He says, I think this was an amazing direct. I'll agree. I'm not sure that it ranks as the greatest ever, but particularly with the first half of this year, it was great to see so much coming out this year. So, dads, I will ask you the same thing. And Justin and Jesse have changed places while I was reading those questions on my screen. What? If
it's okay. I'll go first because actually I got a message from my daughter. I need to drop off. I apologize. Okay. I will say amazing direct. The thing that has sat with me, thing that just keeps running through my head since I have seen it, and has that like what that statement of like what's holding wrench in your head. It's that Zelda game. Man, September cannot get here enough. Like I am so excited for that game. It just keeps running in loop, and I'm like, Epic Mickey got announced to go out 2 days earlier than that. I'm like, what are you doing, Epic Mickey? You need to go take a seat somewhere else, pal. Like you're killing me here, buddy. Because that Zelda game, I have so many things. Like that's just the loop. That's the loop that's going on my head. I think it was an amazing direct. I'm excited about it. I think they're a banger of a year, an absolute banger. And as David said, are you kidding me? This is their 7th year, and you're coming out with these. And like you ain't slowing down. You ain't slowing down. And then you show up with a Metroid Prime 4. How many of us have watched that trailer more than 5 times in the last week? Yep. 100%.
You know how many analysis videos I've watched now too because of that?
Yeah.
I can't anymore. It's too good. I apologize though. I gotta go drop off. I gotta go pick up my kid. Thought something ended earlier than it was gonna.
See you later, Justin.
Thanks guys for having me. I
See you
appreciate
later,
it. Talk soon. Dave, good seeing you. Eh? Take care, bud.
Yes, sir.
Tim, Jesse, what about you? Your thoughts?
I think they're pretty much the same as last week. Nothing's really changed. I think Brothership is the game I'm most excited for. I'm still curiously dubious about the Zelda game. But overall, I think still is one of the best directs that they've put out.
Better than the Smash Brothers reveal?
Oh, I'm not a Smash Brothers player, but that one was exciting.
Smash Brothers reveal was another level, right?
Yeah.
The video footage of the inside of Nintendo New York when King K. Rool got revealed is still one of my favorite moments to go back and watch.
See, I remember I was picking up my son from work and driving him home, and I put up that part of the trailer and said, "Here, watch this," because he hadn't seen it yet, and that was fun to see his reaction.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tim?
Yeah, for me, it's still S tier. To me, it is going to be the masterclass direct that people will benchmark going forward, I think.
Wow.
And also hold PlayStation 2 and Xbox 2 and when they're doing their directs. It may not have had everything for everybody, but or it may have been low expectations or high expectations in some cases from what people were saying. But for me, it was S tier, and yes, it was because Metroid Prime 4 was shown. For sure, that definitely put it over the top for me. Otherwise, if we didn't get that, it probably still would have been an A for me. But S tier because of that was there, and every game that they showed from first party, well, I'll say -1. I want to play day one. So
the thing I feel about this is like looking back on it, I agree with one of the folks who said they are still doing the most 8 years into the system, right? Like they're not slowing down. Now, I don't necessarily think that means that the next gen is further away than we think it is. I just think it means that all this stuff was already coming, and it was going to be like back end stuff, and the Switch 2 is still going to release when it was supposed to. They just weren't going to show it yet. So
yeah, we've said this before too. It's like it doesn't matter when the Switch 2 is going to come out because the Switch 2 is going to play these games.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it may just play them a little bit better, but still to like maybe what tips this direct a little into the more hype for me is it's really like, okay, y'all, and I know people probably get tired of me saying this, but this was the first Nintendo Direct I was able to watch at my house and it not be pixelated. I'm serious. And not be super pixelated to the point that we had to pause it and wait. And it's also like I woke my son up that morning and I was like, hey man, Direct's in 30 minutes. Come on down, let's watch it together. And we watched that Direct together. No distractions, phone off, all that. Wait, just experiencing it together. And that's a memory, right? Like that's like, as a kid who was obsessed with Super Mario Brothers, I remember times when I was like, I just wish my dad would talk to me about Super Mario Brothers. And like I hope my son feels that way. So like I hope he looks back and goes, man, my dad, for all his faults, man, he was cool. He liked video games. We played together. And so that's what I want. And experiencing that Mario Brothers trailer with him, the RPG, the Brothership, seeing him freak out about Marvel versus Capcom because literally 2 days before he and I were having a conversation and he was like, it's fine for me to play it on my PC, but I really love a way to play it portably and be able to play it on the go or be able to take it to a friend's house and play it. And I was like, there you go. Mm-hmm. You got your wish, because sometimes like I get to despairing, like I look over and he's entirely playing on his PC, and he's built that and he's proud of it. And that's awesome. But like there's the dad, I'm always a console gamer first. Right. And so I want him to do that too. And so like it's been cool to watch him over the last like month. He's been playing Paper Mario. He's been enjoying that. But he really loves playing online with his friends. He can't play Paper Mario online with his friends. So he defaults to Rainbow Six a lot. But he told me, he's like, we got a 6-hour drive to camp Monday. He's like, I'm probably going to finish Paper Mario. And I was like, where are you? And he told him, and I just laughed. I said, no, you're not. you got like 10 more hours on that game. Because man, the end of that is
that's like a 45-hour game.
Yikes.
If you do Yeah, if you're collecting everything.
If you do everything, I didn't. I was just like, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm good.
I almost did
it was-
everything, and it was
It
about
was
45
wonderful.
hours.
It was wonderful, but there was a point in the last part of it. I was like, oh my God, just put me out of my misery. Just no more fights, no more hallways. Let's just be done. So that's
Let
our
me
question.
let me
Yeah,
say
go
something
ahead,
real
Tim.
quick. Sorry.
Go ahead.
In the comments, Ninfrendo was questioning what I said about, backwards compatibility, or these Switch games that were announced are going to work on the Switch 2. And he was asking, compatibility was guaranteed for Switch 2. It's like, no, it wasn't. Jesse, you answered that, but just for the audience, anybody else who's thinking it, I know it wasn't announced yet, but all evidence is pointing to that it being backwards compatible. And we're pretty confident that it is, because it almost would be it. Nintendo could do anything they want, obviously, but it would be almost on the, if not stupid, it would be almost stupid.
It's a good
to not
business
make it.
decision to do
Yes.
so.
Yeah, it's a very good business.
Yeah. If and they've done it in the past almost all the time, not always,
Yeah.
but if the system sold well,
And
they made it
similar.
backwards compatible. The next
If
system.
the ports were compatible, the games were.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's all of our question of the week. Go. I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
I want to answer that question too. I feel pretty good about Nintendo's rest of their year. I think the year I would love this. I would have loved if Donkey Kong was in December. I really would like to have that game in this year. Would it really filled out this year? We know we're getting stuff next year, but the only thing that about the direct that I still get a little saltiness in my throat. And the guy who answered the question, he said it best. Like, hey, no Silk Song, no Plunky Squire. To me, I thought those games were going to be there. Those, if I had any expectations, I was like, oh man, this is it. We're going to get it this time. It's going to happen. It's going to be part of this direct, and we're going to know something. And to not have that, that was the one that let me a little salt in my throat. But you know what? I was impressed with Nintendo's ability to provide some quality title. They didn't just give us a bunch of fluff. That Zelda is not going to be a fluff game. That's that and the Mario, you just wasn't expecting it. So I prefer directs when I get surprised like this. Yeah, but I will still say the announcement of Super Smash Brothers is probably far the greatest Nintendo Direct ever. And I said my piece.
Yes. Yep.
When
I love it.
When that cross got in the eyeball, it was over. When you thought it was like, oh, this is a Splatoon knockoff. And no, it wasn't.
Going off of what you said there too, that was an awesome way to end that direct, right? Because that was the ending. That was the one more thing, wasn't it?
Oh, bro,
so yeah, that blew my mind.
I won't argue with you there. That probably is, if we look back over 8 years, right? Yeah. The greatest ending to a Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
Ever. The whole, I mean, even in the Wii U, whenever they started having them, that's the greatest ending to a Nintendo Direct ever, because they ended it right there, and immediately everybody exploded. It was like, we got to know about it. We want more right now.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my kids were in my car, and I had an iPad with some internet service on it. And we were sitting there, and we all in my car, we crunching, we watching everything. And then I just hear my son like, we just seen Splatoon. I was like, yeah, I don't know why they're showing this again. And then the cross came, and my son was like, Smash Brothers. I was like, oh, we just erupted in my car. It's one of, like you said, that memory, that is a memory to this day we can sit back and talk about. And man, we by far just blew our minds.
And that's why we love Nintendo.
There you go, Marty.
That's why we love Nintendo.
There's your next question for next week is, what's everybody's favorite direct?
Ooh, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this week we're going to skip our timeout segment, and we're going to go straight into what we've been playing. So let's head over there. David, you are our guest. Guests always go first on the Nintendo Dads podcast, as long as we remember to. So I got to know what you've been playing.
I've been playing about 5 different games. It's so hard to concentrate on one. But I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm really, really enjoying that game. It's just really, I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. You know, I love the movies, never read the books. But this game is really, really good. Surprisingly, I'm like, man, I mean, really, really good. And of course, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. On my Switch, I'm playing A Thousand Year Door. That's my first. I never played it on the GameCube. This is my first go around, and I'm really, really enjoying the story. So I'm playing this game on my Steam Deck called Cookie Cutter. It's kind of Metroidvania. Good story. I'm really, really liking that too. That's my bedtime before I go to sleep game. So yeah, so I'm just a little bit all over the place right now until NES comes out, and I'm all about that NES remakes.
Cool.
And of course, college football night. You know, that's.
Are you playing?
Gotta
You're
play
playing
with-
the college football,
Oh yeah, got to play with the national champs.
right? Right. So, is it
What was that game? I missed the title.
NCAA? Do they call it NCAA?
It is college football 25.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know? Because I've been wondering about this because I didn't pick it up. But does it do like it did in the back in the day where you could send over a player that's in college over to the Madden game, or did they not do that yet?
They haven't announced. They haven't announced that. I think it is because now they're selling a bundle now with Madden and college football together. So I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
not for sure. But however, you know, I had to get the cover with, you know, national champ Michigan
Yes.
Wolverines on the front.
Yes.
So put that out there.
I love it. I love it. Jesse, we're going to throw it over to you because I swear this is the smallest list of what you've been playing I've ever seen on this show. What have you been playing?
The only game I've played all week is more Picross S Plus. I finished E8. I'm in the middle of E9. I probably will have that finished by the next show, which means I would have 100%ed that game. And at that point, I will give a final hour count.
And how many puzzles is this across this entire game?
Do a count of that too, but it's in the neighborhood of 2,000, maybe.
Yeah. I was thinking like 200 or 300. You said 200.
He loves some Picross, man. He loves it.
Man.
Yeah, each segment has about 400 puzzles, so that times 9 plus bonus. So I guess we're over 3,000.
Close to 4.
I'll get a final
Okay.
count.
You got to love Picross to go that far. Before we get to Tim, I was going to read Justin's list since he had to bounce. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD and Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition. But I noticed that Tim can talk about that too. So Tim, we'll head to you. What have you been playing?
So yeah, Justin did a first look on that Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary that's out on our channel, and I'm playing it now, and I'll probably do a let's play of it once I get a little further in. I've been playing it and enjoying it. I never got to play it when it first came out, and I'm like playing it and just like, why didn't I play it when it first came out? Because it's actually a good game. And even to this day, you can tell it's an older game too. You can tell it's when did that come out, in the 90s or something like that? So
The
original. Yeah, it was 20 years.
It was early 2000s.
Early, the aughts, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, well, I guess 20th anniversary, that makes sense. So 2004.
Well, late 2003, by the looks of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good game. It's first it starts off right. You start right off into the thick of things, and it seemed like it was going to be a hack and slash kind of game. And then, but I remembered there being a camera involved from when I remember hearing about the game before. So you get involved with the camera and you start taking pictures of stuff. It's almost like the scan feature in Metroid Prime. You know, you're using the camera to take pictures and send it in to get money to then buy things for your character and repairs and all that kind of stuff. I just got started, so there's not a whole lot more than I know about it, but so far it's been fun and surprised me of how much action there is as opposed to just adventure. So that's pretty cool. I started Stardew Valley as well because my wife and daughter have been playing it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick this up because I wanted to try the co-op with them. Haven't done that yet. and I just fired it up and got through like the house was given to me or the farm was given to me. So I'm gonna be playing that some more, hopefully over the weekend, and get more deeper into that, and then try out the co-op. I've also been, I think I mentioned last show that this was on deck, and I started it, Tavern Talk. So I have a first look out on that game. It's an interactive narrative game that has some interactivity in it where you're mixing drinks for these players that come into the tavern, but it's based in a D&D world to where you're making magical drinks to help these characters that come to your bar or your inn, to give them a boost in either those abilities you hear in D&D, like strength and defense or
Stat buffs.
dexterity. Yes. So, or charisma, wisdom, intelligence, all those things, your drinks can help them get buffs on or extra abilities on, so that when you send them out on an adventure or they go out on an adventure, they will be, they got that buff. But they're also coming in to get quests that you put together from people who come in and talk to you, and you gather these rumors from these different people, and you put them together. You put these rumors together to find out that there's this quest that these Patreons come in and grab off your board and go do, and in return they come back and tell you what happened and all that kind of stuff. I love it simply for the fact that it's based on this D&D world, because I've been playing D&D with my friends lately. So it's giving me that vibe, or filling kind of that gap when I'm not playing D&D. And it's also actually helping me with, I've been kind of stuck in this writer's block, if you will, of trying to come up with my own D&D game to have my friends play, because my other friends have been running theirs. And I've been talking about wanting to do one, but I had this writer's block. But this game has been giving me ideas to help kind of springboard off of that to kind of do my own game and run my game. So again, Tavern Talk is what I've been playing. And again, it's interactive. It's not all action and all that kind of stuff. You are reading a lot. But it's really, I love the writing in it, and I love the interactivity with making the drinks. And as you go on in the game, you learn more recipes for drinks and infusions that you can make with the drink to even give that drink even more buffs. And then another game that I'm playing is called Driver, and it's an Android game made by our friend of the show, Micah, who's on Nintendo Pals. He actually made this game, posted it on Android. I don't think it's an Apple game, but I found it was an Android game. It's called Driver. It's basically what do you call those runners? A running game, kind of like, but it's called Driver, and it's very simple. You've got to control this line, this yellow line between two blue lines, and the blue lines can curve at any moment, and you use the sides of your phone to make your yellow line fit in between these curves. And you got to try to beat the high score for distance. And so it's very simple, but man, it's addictive. I've been playing that to try to beat the high score, and especially beat Andros, because he's on that high score list.
Where can you find this?
This is on Android devices, and I don't believe, I tried to look to see if it was on Apple, but I don't think it is, because I think he's made it through Android coding. So you have to, if you don't have an Android phone, you should be able to get it on a tablet or something. If you got an Android tablet nearby. But yeah, it's called Driver, a runner game or something like that, whatever those things are called. So I've been playing
like
those
auto
something like the auto runner, because it just goes and you just have to steer it. And again, it's so simple but very addictive. Definitely not a game to play when you're trying to go to sleep. And then on deck, I have Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble that I haven't played yet, but Marty, you have, so I'll kick it off to you.
Yeah, so I've got a video on this on our channel. Played through pretty much the first level of the adventure mode, which you can also play online, I found out. And then played some of the online games. You can kind of go into online battle arena where you can play with friends or you can play with randos. I did that, and the games just kind of cycle. There's 5 different battle games that you can do. I was kind of disappointed to find out one of my big things that I've always loved about the Monkey Ball series is all the mini games you can play, particularly when my wife and I were dating. One of the bonding moments that my father-in-law had with me was I brought my GameCube to her house one weekend and Monkey Ball was out and we played Monkey Golf on the original Monkey Ball, which is like it's like a mini golf. Like it has some just insane, courses and trying to make these trick shots and things. And he loves golf. He's a golfer. So we bonded over that. So like early on in our marriage, we were playing that monkey target and monkey pool and stuff. So I know that those are on another monkey ball game, but this game doesn't have any of that. Now, the controls are great. And the levels are pretty entertaining, but if you're looking for the mini games and stuff, I'll be honest with you, the online was not great. It was you go into a lobby, and I'm not. Y'all know from listening to the dads, I'm not a frame rate guy, but when I can tell that there's an issue, that means something's wrong. And you go into this lobby with this absolutely horrible, god awful frame rate, and basically you just run around and pick up bananas until the game starts. And then you get one of the 5 games. You don't even get to pick which game you're playing. So I played 2 of them on the video. The first one was like a downhill slalom thing where you launch yourself and you try to land in different targets with the rest of your team and get points for your team. And we won, but then they award all these bullcrap bonus points at the end, and the other team came back and won those. So, and then they win the whole game. And then the other one is called like, I don't know, can't remember what it's called. It's like Bombo or something like that, where you're in a arena with all these obstacles, like an enclosed arena, and some people have bombs and some people don't. And if you don't have a bomb, you're running from the people who have the bomb. And if you have the bomb, you're trying to touch other people to pass it off. And you play 5 rounds of that, and then it's done. And there's items you can use and stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is this is like, I think it would be great for couch co-op probably. I'm not like, I know there's some people who just like really get into the single player monkey ball. I'm not one of those people. So for me, this game was not for me in the end. I mean, I like the series. I may play some more online, but I don't know that I'll play the adventure mode or anything past that. Well, I did not get to try. I wanted to try the Robot Rumble, which is the one that they showed off in the Indie Direct when they showed this game, where you're fighting like a robot by running into it up ramps and stuff. But I never did get that one. Another game that's kind of I'll swap up and say another game that I've kind of been disappointed in. I watched Justin's video about Moonstone Island, and that sounded pretty appealing to me. And I downloaded it and I played the first a couple of hours. But man, this game is so buggy that I can't play it until they fix it. And there's like notable problems that they know are happening. And they're basically like, we're working on a patch, and that's it. In the first 30 minutes or so, or an hour, I built a enclosure around some crops that I planted, and then promptly got stuck inside the enclosure because gates are broken on Switch and they only open one way. So once you're inside, you have to pull up the gate, but they don't really teach you how to do that. So I'm just sitting there like having to Google, how do I break a gate to get it, to get it off. And then there's, I did the first dungeon that I thought that was pretty fun. Like, and I've built my little place up and started developing relationships with people. And then I had the audacity to fall off the edge of the map. and it went to a completely black screen and just sat there. So, and it did not give me an ability to like press start or do anything. I like had to literally quit the game.
It's soft locked in the void, huh?
Yep. And so until they fix those things, I'm not going to play it again. I don't want to ruin the experience of the game. I like the game. It's pretty fun. It's like Stardew Valley and Pokemon mashed together. So it's there's relationships and all kinds of other things that you can explore. And basically the main quest of the game is survive a year away from home. So like you touch down and you're near this town and they help you, and it's pretty charming, but it has its issues. I also played Metroid Zero Mission over the weekend and beat it. And I beat Jesse's time and percentage for completion. So, which I didn't think I had until the end, and then I had to screenshot it. And I was like, okay, it was 2 hours and 59 minutes and 66% completion. I thought I was messing up because like once you beat Creed and Ridley, it's pretty much over, right? So there's still some stuff I could go back and find, but Metroid Zero Mission, it's so good. It's so good. It is everything Metroid should be. That Fusion and Dread, they're perfect.
When you're in that post Mother Brain section, there's supposed to be a hidden way to get back into the main map so you can do your cleanup, because if you just follow the main path, you never go back there again.
Yeah.
So you have to find that hidden path to do the cleanup, and then go back through that hidden path to get back into that area to do the final encounter.
Yeah. I will say this: if Nintendo, anytime you want to remake Metroid, Super Metroid in the style of Fusion or Dread, with that kind of like hanging from walls and stuff and pacing, if you want to do that, let's go. I'll spend $70 on that. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
Not even a debate. Let's do it, and then make the sequel to Dread too while you're at it. The last game I've been playing. No, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Oh no, speaking of that, I want them to remake this.
I want that to come to Switch.
Yeah, that needs to be a port for sure. Yes.
I want this to come to Switch.
That definitely needs to be a port.
Absolutely, 100%. Last game I've been playing, also have a video up on our channel. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. This is chef's kiss, guys. I said this in the video. Do not miss this game. It is so good, and it is different from what you would expect from Luigi's Mansion 1 and 3. Those games, one giant interconnected map, or building. Luigi's Mansion 2 is a little bit different. It breaks it down because it was originally developed for the 3DS. It's broken down into missions in different mansions. And so you'll go into like Gloomy Manor is the first one, and you have 1A or A1, A2, A3, A4, all the way down until you fight the boss. And then you can go back into that mansion and you can find the things you missed, but there's different parts that you can't get to until later missions and things like that. So really cool. It introduced the modern flashlight stun, the being able to upgrade the poltergust. Lots of cool things going on in this game. So don't sleep on it just because it's like Nintendo's summer game, And I think, like, I was looking at my friends list earlier on the Switch and nobody's playing it. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to miss this game. It's fantastic. And it looks beautiful. Like, think about it was on a 3DS. And it was grainy and kind of pixelated. It did look good for a 3DS game, but they've really outdone themselves with the lighting effects and stuff. And so I definitely think Luigi's Mansion 2 needs to be on your list for this summer, or save it for October and have it as a spoopy game. But it's highly recommended. Go check it out. First 45 minutes are on our YouTube channel. So with that being said, that's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight, guys.
Well, but before I hit that button, I wanted to quickly say, audio listeners, the game that David showed was Metroid Return of Samus, the 3DS remake of the second game. I don't think that anyone ever stated what.
Yeah,
game
there
that
you go.
was.
I didn't say it.
No.
All right. Here we go.
All right. So this is our community spotlight. And one last time, David, thank you so much for coming on the show and for sharing what you thought about the direct and the games you've been playing. You got that link. You're always welcome to come join us anytime you want. So
Oh man, listen. I do have a question. Are you guys planning on going to New York for the launch of the Switch 2?
That's a good question.
We haven't thought that far ahead yet.
We didn't think
it
that
helps
far
to know. It helps to know when it'll occur.
Yes.
Right. Listen, I have
But
to prepare for it. I know if
that's
I go, my kids will
probably
be-
not out of the question at this point.
Yeah.
For
I think I'm gonna
maybe
do it.
not all four of us, but at least one of us might make an appearance. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I think I'll go stand in line for 3 days. I'm gonna give it a 3-day stunt. I can't do 30 days like some other YouTubers. But I'll give you 3 days. That's all I can afford.
Get it at the Nintendo store, huh?
Yeah, I think
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Once
thanks for
it's one
putting
of them
that in my
once-in-a-lifetime
head.
things. Yeah, it's
Right.
right. I'm going.
I don't think any of us
Yeah,
thought that
that's
far ahead yet.
Well, I gotta prepare. I know it's coming next year, so
Yeah.
I gotta get my money in order so I can
Well, I mean,
buy it and then live out there for.
we're all preparing too to like pre-order it at our normal locations, but you're like Nintendo store. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool. I think I've never done it. I would love. I bet you the energy is just like off the chains.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
And it could be kind of like what was mentioned before when we did last year or 2022, sorry. Well, it's 2022, right? Is that when we went to New York?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's all the years are blending together. Anyways, when we were there and that's what Marty was talking about, right? Was that the Scarlet and Violet Switch was being sold that day. I think a lot of people pre-ordered it and then went to pick it up that day, and they still had to stand in line to go and wait for it to come out. And there was a delay too, right, Jesse? I think there was like something happened in the shipment or whatever, and a lot of people were upset because it wasn't there immediately.
Ooh.
So,
Which just gave them more time to talk to us outside.
right, yeah. So we had a lot of people coming and talking to
So
us.
no harm.
Yeah, it worked out for us. But anyways, if it's something that we can pre-order, man, get it pre-ordered, and you may not have to stand in line, right? Unless you're wanting, like.
Can you phone in a pre-order? Otherwise, you have to make a trip out there to make the pre-order, and then make the trip out there for the pickup.
Yeah. So I don't know how it's work, but that is a great idea, and that is something that we'll have to definitely talk about. Yeah.
If you guys go, I would love to link up with. At least I know some people out there. I know for sure my daughter is going. And
Okay.
I'm going. Yeah,
Okay.
So we'll both be out there.
All right. We'll have to talk about that for sure. All right. So anybody who's listening to the show too, if you're going to do that too, or want to do it, let us know. Maybe it becomes a big, huge thing.
That's
So-
right. We all in line.
Right.
That'd be great.
All right. So real quick, let me go over some of the events and contests. We got the gaming streams going on that we do. Just follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for live Let's Plays and first looks every now and then. Turn on notifications to be notified when we go live. For example, like some of Marty's, Sundays when he can do his, or when Jesse can jump on during the weekend. Or anytime that I can jump on during the week. Sometimes we can give a let's play or a first look at a game instead of just recording it. So again, follow us and put your notifications on so you know when we go live. Or you can subscribe to us on Patreon and Twitch to access our Discord and to participate in activities and events and contests like Monthly Mayhem, which you have to listen to the Dads After Dark show to hear the winners of the recent Monthly Mayhem that they held throughout June. And then we also have Friday Night NSO, which happens every second Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern, where myself, Shannon, and Chris HL, and sometimes Sam from the Retro Logic team get together to play some multiplayer games on NSO. You can come play along with us if you are, again, a subscriber to Patreon or Twitch, because then you can join in with us on Discord or on the stream. You don't have to be a subscriber for that. But again, follow us and you'll be able to know when we're live. And you can come join in usually on the game if it's a multiplayer game. More than 4 people, you can come join in with us. Or even some people where we didn't. Like we were playing Star Wars Hunters. And we had a Reed come join us on there and carry us through Star Wars Hunters. But yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. So you can come play along or come watch, but also keep an eye on any Friday for a surprise when Marty might come join us too sometimes. It just depends on what he's got going on. And then we have the table every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern. The community gets together at the table to discuss whatever's on our mind. It's also been known to be very therapeutic for all of us dads to get together and talk about our children behind their backs. No, I'm kidding. We don't do that. But mark your calendars for July's dinner table, July 19th. All 4 dads will be on. So here's your chance to chit chat with all the Nintendo dads and ask those behind the scenes questions you've been wanting to ask. It's our way of being able to celebrate 10 years of the Nintendo Dads podcast with our community. So again, if you want to be part of that, you have to be a Patreon or a Twitch subscriber to get into our Discord to join that dinner table in July. All right. With that being said, before I jump into the questions, David, one more time, where can people find you?
I'm all over the place. I am Gaming Dad on YouTube. It's another Gaming Dad, but he's an imposter. But no, he's not. I'm saying. But I'm also on Twitter or X, if you want to call it, at gaming_dad3. I'm on Instagram at gamingdad3, TikTok at gamingdad0, and I'm doing a really good 49 push-up challenge. I turned 49 this year, so I'm doing some push-up challenges on my TikTok. So you definitely want to come and get you a good word and watch me get my 49 push-ups on. I finally got them. I can get the 49 straight now, so I've been really
congratulations.
So, it took a minute.
I need to do that.
It was a struggle.
I turned 49 this year too, so I need to. I should do that.
You should do it, man. You should do it. Hop on.
Nice.
So yeah, and we're live every Monday night at 8:30 for This Week in Gaming. We talk about all the gaming news for the prior week and have good conversations. And we give out a free Nintendo eShop card every night. And if you don't have a Nintendo, I don't know what's wrong with you, but if you need to, get maybe a Steam card, we switch it up for you. So
yeah, now you got that Steam Deck. You got a lot of probably people following you that have Steam Decks too.
Man, that Steam Deck, man, that's a nice system.
And Quag says hi, by the way. He's in our chat,
Oh, that's my guy, man. Las Vegas in the building.
Right.
Quag 311. You gotta get ready for school.
Yeah, he was shouting that out earlier in the chat too.
Oh man, listen, that guy, man, Quag is funny.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's always around here too, so it's been great to see him. Whenever I go jump in on your show, I'll see him in the chatting with you. That's great. So, all right. Again, Mondays at the 8:30, right? Eastern.
Yeah, Mondays 8:30. Yep.
All right.
We broadcast Monday. We're on Facebook, Twitch. I forgot. We're on Twitch as well at Gaming Dad 1906. So we broadcast Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook all simultaneously. So catch it anyway.
Use the restream thing like we do, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. But believe it or not, I use this program called Ecamm. That's how I do my broadcasting. And at Ecamm, I can broadcast anything. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
We use restream, and then restream started costing money. So I was like,
yeah,
cut me down to this too. I say, I got to find something else.
Yeah, we paid them money.
Yeah,
because we like what they did.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, David, again for coming on and sharing where you're at. Let's get to these questions. Run through them. Actually, Jesse, do you have the voicemail ready?
Yeah.
Let's listen to that.
Hello, Cooper Kid Jr. What Paper Mario games have you beaten in your life other than Paper Mario the 1,000-Year Door? Bye-bye.
Koopa Kid Jr., I think it is. Double Junior. Nice. So, what other Paper Mario games have we beaten other than Thousand Year Door?
So I'm trying to think through the list. I beat the N64 one. I beat the GameCube one. I beat the Super Paper Mario on Wii. I did not beat Superstar on 3DS or Sticker Star on 3DS. I do not think I beat Paper Jam, or that was a Mario and Luigi game. Was there another
You still
one?
count it.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I beat that. I got really close to the end, but didn't beat it. I did not beat Origami King. No, I did beat Origami King. The one before that, the paint one on Wii U.
Yeah, I don't remember all the titles. I'm impressed that you did. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of Paper Mario games.
Whatever the Wii U one, I did not beat, but I think that was all of them.
Okay. Nice. How about you, David? Did you beat any other of the
No, I came real close to beating Origami King.
Okay.
Color
Again,
Splash.
you could,
That was the
Splash,
Wii U
yeah,
game.
there's-
Color Splash, yeah. My kids played Color Splash, but I didn't. And
Okay.
so now, but I'm now working on Thousand Year Door, so because I missed out on the GameCube.
Nice. Yeah, Super Paper Mario was the one I played and beat and loved that one. And I'm looking at the list. I tried Sticker Star and I didn't get through all that 100%. Got through
You
probably
got to
halfway
be.
through.
You have to enjoy pain in order to get through that game.
Color Splash, I got probably halfway through, and Origami King probably halfway through. It just didn't hold my attention long enough. And I don't know if it's just because it felt samey to me or something, but I think I had the most fun on Super Paper Mario, but probably because that was my first one, because I didn't get to play Paper Mario or Thousand Year Door before that.
I wonder if they're going to give that one a remake, the remaster treatment on the successor system.
The original Paper Mario?
No, Super Paper Mario.
Oh, Super Paper Mario. Oh yeah. That would I I wonder if I would replay that again too. But yeah,
I would love that on the Super Switch.
Super Switch.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We would need some way to do some nice way to smoothly go from 2D to 3D, because we don't have a Wii remote. We can just reorient. So the
They'll figure it out.
Joy-Con maybe can, but again, I've stated that I don't really trust their motion sensors as much as I did with the Wii.
Well, if there's a camera built into the Switch successor, maybe they can use the camera some way to orient you. Who knows? There'll be some sort of gimmick with it, right?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Great question, Koopa Kid Jr. Awesome. And speaking of Koopa Kid, the father asks, do you feel like backtracking and padding have improved or been minimized over the last few generations? I am close to finishing Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door, and although there are many aspects I love, the backtracking is kind of cumbersome. Would love to hear your thoughts. So what do you think, David? Has backtracking and the padding been improved?
I don't know. I would say this here. It's every time, I don't know how, it's like a sore. No matter what game I play, once those mechanics come into play, it's like it makes me lose my attention. I would say probably it has improved. It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but man, it's just like, oh, here we go again. It's like a chore almost. So you play games to to have fun, not to be like, okay, I have so many things that I have to do. I have to go back and do this and help this person. It's like, oh, come on. Yeah, they have done a better job, I think, disguising it.
That's a good way
at
to put
least
it.
add a little bit more meaning and fulfillment to it. But it's still, once you see it, you recognize what's going on. So it's like, kind of takes the fun out the game.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do think that the GameCube era was at Nintendo's worst when it came to this.
Yes.
Like Thousand Year Door, Wind Waker. games like that.
Anyway, I love the game, but golly.
Yeah, when they did the Wii U remake of Wind Waker, they made changes to how the end game goes, so it isn't as egregious. And with this Thousand Year Door remake, they added the hub room. I don't think that existed in the original game. So to make jumping from the town to town areas a lot easier, especially in that made Chapter 6 go a lot faster. Without that, I remember that being a pain. And then even the smaller areas, they put in smaller shortcuts that didn't exist before, where you had to do a lot of back and forthing. Chapter 4, I think, introduced a new shortcut that didn't exist. You had to go through the long path the first time, but then I think you had to do it twice, and then the third time you were given the ability to open the shortcut. So you had to go back and forth further. You did if you wanted to complete everything, but then you had the shortcut to speed things up.
Nice. That's good. That's the benefit of getting a remaster of a game, right? Hopefully they do that where they make it a little bit easier and take out some of that, make that improvement like Koopa Kid was mentioning here. But Quag brought up Prime, but that's a Metroid game. You're supposed to backtrack. That's built into it.
Like we already know, we know what we're getting into.
Right. You're expecting that and that's the thing. You're trying to remember, okay, I can't get here now, but I'll probably get something in the future that'll let me get to the spot here or what I need to try to get here. And that's probably because I love Metroid games. That's probably what gets me in trouble with other games and why I spend so much time in other games that people are getting done in, say, like, 20 hours and it takes me 50 hours because of Metroid games, because of exploring every inch of a game. Like, ooh, is there something here and all that kind of stuff, even though most likely there isn't, because it's not that type of game. It's just me trying to figure out, can I make this game easier for me going forward to fight that boss that I'm looking forward to? Is there something that I can find?
Missing, right?
Yeah. So, and the game's not probably built that way, but I still do it anyways. All right, great question, Koopa Kid. Next question comes from Mecca. When it comes to 2D platforms, is it better to use the analog stick or D-pad?
I'm a D-pad guy.
Agreed. I'm a D-pad. When I played Zero Mission, I was on the D-pad right away and never got off it.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, with those type of games for sure. Newer games, I think I always try the stick first to see how it feels, and then if it feels weird, then I go to the D-pad.
Actually, I mentioned that I was expecting a package that I'll be getting next week. It's a package from Atari with some new controllers and some 7800 reprint games. The thing about the new controllers that they have is it's got a little joystick on it, but the joystick part can be removed and can be played like a D-pad. So if that's not a completely mushy D-pad, that might be a really awesome way to play Pitfall 2.
Nice.
With a nice, comfortable controller. Because while this controller is iconic, it is not very comfortable for long sessions.
Yeah, no, it is not.
That corner gets digging in that palm. You'd be like, all right, I got to take a break.
And again, for the audio listeners, I picked up that traditional 2600 Atari joystick.
Nice. Great question again. And Mecca has another one, but I'm going to save that one for last. Darth Platypus asks, when you take your Switch out and about with you, how do you carry it? Just in a pocket, a case, a hard side box? I've been using the case that came with my Nitro deck, but have been considering different options. And David, I know you've got a couple different handhelds, but I'm sure you got a case for those things.
Oh, best believe it.
What do you got?
This is my favorite. I ain't gonna lie, it's nice. It goes right into my book bag. This is probably my favorite one that I always go out and use. Got little pockets right in here for my little games.
Oh,
Already
nice.
prepared. Yeah. So
So it's like a little
definitely,
polyurethane or nylon
yeah,
case. Okay.
yeah. It's nice. It's nice and
Nice
durable.
and
You know,
slim.
yeah. Put my
Okay.
switch in there. You know, it's good to go. This is my go-to.
What you got for
I
your
don't.
Steam Deck?
Oh, you know, the blessing is, you know, they give you a case. So I
Oh,
just
do
hear
they?
that big, yeah, they give you a case when you buy a Steam Deck.
And is
So,
it
you
a
know,
hard
it's
shell?
huge. It's a hard shell case.
Okay.
You know, it's like that big. So, you know, it's like,
I didn't know
it
they
makes
gave
it
you
a
a case. That's
chore.
cool.
Yeah, they give you a case.
And
So, you know, that's the
the
blessing.
Legion, does it come with a case too?
Yeah, yeah, it does come with a case. But once again, that thing is huge. It's like a
It's
suitcase.
8-inch screen. So yeah. You're
It's
carrying
like a
another
suitcase.
laptop with you or something.
Right. I don't get to take my Legion Go out too much. It's pretty much a homebody system. You know,
Okay.
you know, that's the one, you know, you go to bed when you're really trying to irritate your wife because the screen is so bright.
It
She
just
can't go to
lights up the
sleep and she
room.
looking at, all right, the whole room. Yeah, but the experience
Nice.
is great. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We're gonna have to, if you are still around for after this is done, I have a couple questions for you on that Legion Go.
Okay.
All right. Jesse, how do you carry yours?
Yeah, I don't have any cases. If I'm going somewhere where I'm bringing my backpack, I just
Mhm.
throw it in the backpack. And
You
if I'm going somewhere, say
You live
like,
dangerously.
yeah, well, if you think that was dangerous, you're gonna like my part too.
Okay.
Say I'm going somewhere where I wouldn't be bringing a backpack, like say if I'm going to the bar to play poker or something,
Mhm.
and I want to bring my Switch with, I will snap off Joy-Con, put them each in a front pocket, and I will put the rest in my back pocket.
That is definitely living dangerous right there.
Boy, yeah, you're over the top, buddy.
But it's
I don't
nice
do
that you
that
can do
very.
that.
I don't do that very often, but yeah, it fits nice in my pocket.
When you break it down like that, for sure. And I did that too, but I have a shoulder bag that I carry around, and I had one that was smaller and thinner that hugged against my body pretty well. So I would have to
Mhm.
break my Switch down to do that. Take the
Yeah, and
Joy-Cons
then
off,
like
and
if
then
I'm going
screen
to an
off.
SCA event, I'll have a leather satchel instead of my backpack, my mundane looking backpack. Then same thing. If I'm bringing my Switch with, I'll just throw it as is in my bag.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I also have the sorry, I forget my mic there. I also have a Nitro Deck here for my Switch. I have the newer Nitro Deck Plus
Oh
that
yeah,
they
look at
just
that.
came out with. I'm looking at it right now so I can do a review on it, and then and heads up, if you're listening this far into it, we will also have a giveaway for one of these as well. So stay tuned for
Yeah,
that.
I didn't get the newer one. I have an older one, and I like the older one. It just said at first, you know, I was having issues getting the switch out.
Yeah.
But besides, once I got a little rhythm going on, it's pretty good.
This one has it actually pops it out when you hit it. So it's like
Yeah, see, yeah, that's what
it
the
just slides
that's
out
the
very
first one needed.
nicely. So, and there's other nice things about it too for the Plus. But again, I'm still reviewing and trying to get through, and I'll have a video on that, and we can talk later too about it. But I don't take it out of the house because I don't have a case for it either. Is what Darth Platypus is asking about for this thing. But I imagine that this will fit in the same ones that the Hori controllers that the split pad pros go on. If you got a case for that, this will probably fit in those. I thought I had one, but I couldn't find it. But anyways, it does fit in I can fit it in my new side shoulder bag that I have. It will fit in there. But I still like the magic of the classic, Switch with the Joy-Cons, sliding it with the Joy-Cons on in my side bag, and I've done that several times where I just take it that way and hold it without any grips or anything like that. Because I'm on the go. I'm just going to be playing real quick. So I don't need anything fancy on it. So it's just going to be, how the Switch was intended. That's how I take it. And I use the decks at home. So, but yeah, I prefer, I think, because I usually throw my Switch in a backpack. If I'm going to do that, I prefer a hard shell case when I do that. So hopefully it helped you, Darth. And hopefully it answers your question. But definitely hit us up in the Discord too. We can talk more about the cases because I have a variety that I've tried.
Right.
Ebicel asks, which will happen first, a Hatch Tales release or a Switch successor? So, in case anybody doesn't, Dave, do you know about the Hatch Tales game?
Oh, no.
Okay, probably good that you don't, because this game, Hatch Tales, was announced originally in 2018 in a Kickstarter, and people backed it, like myself, and it's become something wholly different.
Yeah,
Still has
it was supposed to be a port of a 3DS game that came out in 2017
called Chicken Wiggle. It was a 3DS game called Chicken Wiggle, and it was kickstarted there to bring a port of that 3DS game over to the Switch with some new music and some up-res graphics. And now it's become a whole new game with the still kind of same concept of the Chicken Wiggle, where it's a chicken and a worm that grapples onto things and moves you around, mechanics type of thing. But this time now it's Hatch, who's a hawk, it looks like, or a chicken. It could be a chicken still, that uses a grapple hook. So, and there's a lot more to it that I won't get into because I've gone into it plenty of times on this show. Why that's frustrating. I will give a Tui this though. It does look like it's still fun. So after watching what they presented a couple days ago, but anyways, will Hatch Tales release first before Switch successor? I hope so. And the way it's looking, I believe so. I want to say I believe so.
Well, I think they have one chance left. If how many times that game has been pushed and delayed.
Yeah.
If it delays again, it might be a coin flip.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, right now I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, especially since he showed off six what did he call it? I don't remember. He had a specific name, not levels, but they were like you were in World 1 and he had World 1 through 6 that he showed.
Yeah, the current release date is scheduled for August 23.
Yep.
After like 5 delays. So we'll see.
Hopefully there's some polish that's getting done and everything he showed wasn't just what has been done, which is one world. I can only laugh about it now, but I'm really hoping for the best. And I'm at this point, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt and hoping that it does release before the Switch successor, because the Switch successor is end of the fiscal year, right? So,
yep.
And they're
Switch.
All right. David said Switch. I'm hoping for the August date holding true. Jesse is like, sure, but if it's delayed again, no. It will be Switch successor if it's delayed again. So, all right. Wish the other dads were here to chime in on that one. All right, last question.
Especially Marty, since he was the other backer.
Yeah. He backed it at 10 and I backed it at 100.
Wow.
So long story, David. Just long story. All right. Anyways, last question that Mecca came at us with was, what's your favorite fast food place to go to for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner? And one of our community members, Zablanc, said, and he's also the Dad After Dark show host, he said Qdoba. So what's your fast food, David? What's your go-to for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Golly.
It could be different places. It could be one place, however many places you want to name.
If I have my choice, boy, Buc-ee's, and Buc-ee's.
Yeah,
Marty would be proud of you for
Buc-ee's
that.
during pre-show pretty heavily.
Yeah, hey man, Buc-ee's, boy. If you have not had it, you owe it to yourself. It is an absolute treat. Oh man, but I'll listen. I'll pick Buc-ee's for lunch.
Okay.
Breakfast. Oh man. Fast food breakfast. It would have to be either Wendy's or Whataburger.
Okay.
Whataburger has a pretty good breakfast.
I haven't had Whataburger for breakfast yet. There's
Oh,
one about like 15 minutes away from my house, and I just don't normally go that far south.
The breakfast is surprisingly good at Whataburger. Surprisingly good.
Okay.
If I had to do dinner, man, you know, I'm gonna listen. You can never go wrong with pizza, and I'm a pizza guy. They have a Marco's not too far from us. And,
Oh, Marco's Pizza. Oh my gosh, it's so
Marco's
good.
So good, man.
I like their sandwiches more than their pizza.
I haven't had a sandwich yet. Oh, you know what? Listen, you have inspired me. I think I might have to try one.
Yeah, I normally like add.
Past that, 'cause we are pizza people.
I know no matter what sandwich I get, I normally add mushrooms and maybe onions to it.
Okay,
Mwah.
I'm a mushroom and onion guy, so I'm gonna take your advice on that one. I'll have to let you know next time on the show.
I'm gonna have to try their sandwiches too because
Right.
I just love their pizzas. I always have to get like
Yeah.
either their Hawaiian is so good because it's
Yeah,
not it's like
so
a chicken
good.
Hawaiian because it's got good chunks of chicken on it. It's
Right.
so good.
They do it right. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they
do it
have a
right.
barbecue chicken in case you don't like the pineapple on your pizza. They have a barbecue chicken that has the same hunks of chicken. So good on there.
Yeah.
So
But that Hawaiian,
yeah, that's it.
though.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
Yes. For me, it's for breakfast, Taco Bell. I love their what do they call them? Their crunch wrap breakfast ones. I like the California one because it's got avocado or guacamole in it or whatever. With the hash brown and some bacon and all. And, oh, it's so good. But runner up is a steak bagel sandwich at McDonald's.
Steak bagel sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say McDonald's because we no longer have the steak bagel sandwich. I know some areas of the country they still do. But yeah, we don't have them here. But I remember they're greasy as hell, but they're really good. But I still like their breakfast burritos, and I miss the larger burritos I used to have.
Yeah, those are good. I liked getting those on the road because especially if they weren't too sloppy in making it, it holds together pretty well. So, but sometimes when they throw things together, it can be pretty messy.
So McDonald's is my answer for breakfast. Then for say a lunch and a dinner, kind of toss up between Chipotle
That's good.
and we actually had Firehouse subs for dinner tonight.
Oh man,
there you go.
Firehouse, boy, that Italian is so delicious. I'm sorry, I'm hungry. I have not.
Yeah, I had the spicy
that's
meatball.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Today.
You didn't eat yet. Yep. Nice. Yep. Taco Bell, is usually our go-to, my wife and I, it's like, we're like, hey, you want to go out? And sure, we're ready to go to, a sit down dine in place. And then we end up picking Taco Bell. It's like, let's just go to Taco Bell. So
you said Hardee's in the chat. I used to work for a Hardee's when I was a kid, and I actually was the Sunday morning biscuit maker for a few years.
Nice.
Oh, man.
They closed all the Hardee's near me.
That's a great question. Like, what are you guys' some of your best jobs as children?
There you go.
When I was 16, yeah, I worked at Toys R Us. I worked at GameStop. I worked at Taco Bell, Rallies. I was all over the place.
Very cool. Yeah, I worked at Baskin Robbins, Blockbuster, a church with a friend. We did some bingo cleanup area, when they did bingos.
Mm-hmm.
There's a point where I had 5 jobs at one time. I'm trying to remember them all. So, but yeah, it was quite a few there. My favorite though was Baskin Robbins because we would trade ice cream for fast food with some places. They would call us up and say, "Hey, you want to do a trade?" Like it'd be Wendy's or McDonald's calling us or a pizza place. Like, hey, we'll give you a pizza for some ice cream or something, and we'd be like, "Sure,
Right,
sure."
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Great questions.
Yeah.
Thanks for that last question, David.
I worked from Hardee's from 14 to 19. Then I worked at a gas station until I graduated with a certificate. I got that was then to my first full-time job first it was an hourly as an intern at a computer programming place, and then got hired on full-time and got laid off just before Y2K. And then I started my next job in March of 2000, and I'm still there.
Wait a minute, laid off before Y2K?
Yes.
Can you explain Y2K to the younger generation?
Right.
When the year from 1999, a lot of older computers would only store the last 2 bytes of the year to save memory, because memory was expensive back in the 60s and 70s. And so a lot of old mainframe systems after 1999 would say, okay, 1900. And then, okay, what happens to my money in my bank? And so there was a lot of, when that was made a realization, and it caused a lot of panic, and businesses spent a lot of money to make sure their systems were Y2K compliant, aka make a year a 4-byte field instead of a 2-byte field. That's really all it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and things were not as disastrous as
and they laid you off when they needed people to code. They laid you off. That's what I don't understand. What happened there? That's funny. All right. All right. Great questions and great feedback from everybody. And great stuff going on in the chat there. I see Reed Dillard mentioned some things. What did he say? We had Marco's last week. Everyone got sick. Oh, it's Quag. Good food, though. Reed said Jack's for breakfast. Huge Taco Bell guy, so that takes care of all the other meals. I agree. Yeah. And Ebicel is Buc-ee's, not Buckeyes. Buc-ee's.
Right. Buc-ee's.
So
yeah, we don't do Buckeyes around these parts.
That's an Iowa thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And and everybody who stopped in, like Mecha Dragon and Elvis, and let's see who else. Trying to just, I know we had a lot of people stopping in earlier too. So lots of there's beer. Beer stopped in, Ebicel, Ninfrendo. So thank you all for stopping in and chatting with us and hanging out. Again, don't forget to check out David every Monday at 8:30. Watch him live, or I'm sure you can go back and watch a replay. But believe me, watching him live and talking with him live is a lot more fun. So, all right. Thanks again, David, for stopping in. But it's time to end the show and say goodnight to everybody. So with that, we'll say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, David Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, Solo Something, and the other 100+ patrons. Thank you so much for what you provide to us by subscribing there. And also thank you to our 14 Twitch subscribers and over 1,454 Twitch followers. And a shout out to our 7,576 YouTube subscribers. So shout out to all of you for however you follow us or subscribe to us. It is very helpful one way or another. And even more so when you can leave a review, it helps as well, because in that, those algorithms, So thank you for all of that. Check us out on our website by going to nintendodads.org, where you can find our Spotify podcast feeds on some of our shows. I still have to add the Star Wars Dads feed there, so I apologize to them for not doing that. But go check out the Star Wars Dads on their shows. They're available on your podcast feed. There's also Dads After Dark show, and then the Retro Logic family of podcasts as well within our family, which is Retro Logic, On Topic Retro, Retro Groove, and Film Logic. Lots of shows to listen to for lots of variety of people. Our latest YouTube videos and tweets, links to all our social media, Patreon and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch is all available. And also, if you're on YouTube, you can see our merch right down below this video. And don't forget to check out our sponsors, manscaped.com. Get 20% off your Manscaped order with free shipping with code NINDADS, NINDADS. Or you can also get a discount on factormeals.com for 50% off your first order with code NINDADS50. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NINDADS or 929-256-3237. Leave a voicemail there. And big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download from your favorite podcast app of choice, and please, again, leave us a 5-star review and a comment. And if you leave anything else, anything less, we'll send the Nintendo Ninjas after you. For me, for Jesse, for Marty, for Justin, and for David, this is the Nintendo Dads and the Gaming Dad checking out. We'll check you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for
Great show,
listening
fellas.
to Nintendo Dads.
Do you know who I am? Nintendo Dads Podcast.